Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I'm really feeling happy and I'm feeling good about today because we have a current minister here who's agreeing with the solutions that we are proposing and we're discussing. It's not a heated debate, but the solutions are coming. And halfway through the show, I'm some sort of hopeful that by end of today we're going to come up with some solutions, some points that Paul will take to the immigration minister and find solutions for our industry. I would like to bring you, Paul, to the visa processing. So we talked, during the break, we talked about what kinds of visa could work for us. We talked about a working visa, a tourism visa, which you said was being abused. But the visa section for processing visa in Dhaka is now gone to Delhi. And what is the reason for that?
Okay, well, there are a few things being conflated, because actually I was in Dhaka at the end of September, and we had everybody from the media through to the President of Bangladesh asking us about this. So I can understand it as a concern. But there are two things. First of all, actually, the front office in Dhaka is still there, so you can still present your papers, you can still go to Dhaka and apply. It's the decision-making, the back office things that have been moved to Delhi. So
why has that been done?
Well, that's partly for streamlining and making it more efficient. But what the problem was...
Are you saying that India is small, they don't have enough population for,
no, I think
so
it's
you
just,
needed more?
I think it's, obviously we've got to make sure that we keep reviewing the situation.
Is it the High Commissioner said to you that he hasn't got any skilled people in Dhaka?
No, it's not about skilled people. It's not about skilled people. It's just about actually...
Why was that decision made, and who made that decision?
I think, well, that would have been made here. That would have been made here.
So who was it?
But to be honest, that's way above my pay grade.
Right,
I may be the Minister for Curry. You may have promoted me to the Minister of Curry, but there's no way I can be promoted to a senior
Foreign Minister.
Exactly. Yeah. But actually, what the other thing that was coming out of our conversations when people were lobbying me for the change to change it back was they were saying, because it's moved to Delhi, there are a number of people that are getting refused visas. And I think that's actually bringing two issues together that don't necessarily relate. Because what's happened is at the same time of moving the back office to Delhi, we've been tightening up on our immigration processes. So, and yes, we've been making it harder for people to come in.
Paul, I'd like to ask one question. How much has the government saved by moving the back office to Delhi?
I have absolutely no idea, I'm afraid. I genuinely don't know.
Would you be able to find out and let us know?
I can find out, I'm sure.
It's one for you to know. And because you're already charging very, very high fees, because the entry fee for the visa is now an income for the government. So is the British embassy in Bangladesh, which is our embassy, so all, my embassy, your embassy, it's representing us. Is it on a deficit or a surplus? Is it making money from the Bangladeshis? Or
Yeah.
Do you know?
I don't know about that sort of level, I'm afraid. But I think, as I say, we have been tightening up on our immigration overall, so that will actually naturally have effect no matter where the back office is, whether it was in Dhaka or in Delhi. It just happens to coincide time-wise, I think, that has been the case. But,
So after everybody, even the President of Bangladesh, you said, I talked to you about it, is there any plans for the government to bring it back to Dhaka?
No immediate plans, but we will always review it. This was the thing, we were talking to the British High Commissioner over there and speaking to him about this.
And what is his thoughts?
And I think this is a thing. The move was there for a reason, but we
Robert
will always review it to see how well it. He said we'll review it. He said it's basically there for a reason, to streamline back office, which we're doing throughout the country, throughout other parts of government and across the world.
Which other country have you done that?
Well, no, throughout this country in terms of other government offices.
Okay, have you moved Pakistan to India as well?
Pakistan, I have no idea where that is at the moment, and I very much doubt, to be frank.
Is it only the Bangladeshi the British are picking?
No, there's no way that would. I can't give you chapter and verse because I'm not an expert in that field at all.
But
all I'm saying is that
you can understand.
There is absolutely no way.
The British Bangladeshi population
I understand.
in the United Kingdom feel that
I understand.
they have been picked on. Their visa office now gone to India, and Indians somehow are better quality people or higher than us.
No, I mean,
than Bangladesh.
I think the thing is,
why can't you bring India to Dhaka?
Well,
Because we can do it cheaper than
this
India.
is true. You've got to make the case, and that I'm sure they would. You know, if it's cheaper, then I'm sure they'll
So,
look
but
at it.
I think Paul is a poor man. He doesn't have this answer.
Paul is part of the government, Pasha Bhai. So who else are we going to go to? I mean, we have
to get foreign minister.
But I know it's not the first. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time that one country's back office has been moved to another country. This is something that happens when they can try and find efficiencies, and it won't be the last time. But they will always keep under review.
We, the British citizen of the Bangladeshi origin, are not happy with it, and we would like it back. So can you take that message to the government, please?
I'll certainly take it back.
Thank you very much. We move on. So we talked about actually the 29,000 net pay after accommodation and after a food to bring a chef into United Kingdom is very, very high. Paul said that that's approximately 40k plus, because can you feed and clothe somebody and accommodate somebody for 11k? So would you like to see that brought down, Pasha Bhai? Where would you like to see that brought down, to what level?
This is the most important thing now before they change the immigration law. Either they're going to change the immigration law. I'm very much doubtful about it. If they're going to give us any temporary work permit like sector-based scheme, that could happen, or anything. But before that, these 29,700 or whatever it is, and Salim Bhai, it's going up as well from the April. It's not stopping in 29. It's going up again.
It's going to 50k.
Yeah, 35 something.
So if it goes to 35k, it's equivalent of 50k.
Yeah. So this is showing the intention of government. Yeah, I said to James, the immigration minister, I'm telling my friend Paul as well, as Paul is our only hope to speaking in the parliament for us, that can you tell James that this is not an immigration issue?
We should bring James into the show.
Yeah, he will not come. All right. It's not an immigration issue. Is it an immigration issue? It is an economic issue. We are not talking about the immigration. I'm not asking government to open the immigration door for us. No, I'm not asking. This is not my headache. My headache is solve my problem, and I'm a businessman, and my outlet is a business source collecting taxes, and I'm paying tax, and I wanted to contribute the tax towards government, and I wanted to employ people, at least 10 people in one outlet. So think about it. It's an economic issue. Paul can say to the government this, that look, it is an economic issue. You find out some temporary solution. So what he was saying that about these, the wages, students, sector-based, I can remember we fight and we win once the Labour government, I'm not saying any political things, Labour government has issued a temporary work permit only for 5,000 for sector-based scheme, pilot scheme. This sort of scheme could be open again. I think, Paul, it sounds bad, but I think it is a discrimination. Yeah? Even though the visa went to the Delhi.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. And European Union. I'm not discriminating anybody. Romanian and me is a lot of different. I'm a British citizen. My father is contributing here from 1960, and I'm paying still. And what is the difference between Romanian and me? Economically, hell of a lot of difference. Absolutely. Culturally, I'm a British man. My son is a born British. And he jumped from Romania. He's got all advantage. And my family, my business don't get this advantage because of his color. Nothing else.
Pasha, I think you won't get any disagreement with me. And this is where I sort of veer away from government policy, because I believe that we're right in terms of renegotiating with Europe, primarily about immigration. But ultimately, I don't think that we're going to get enough back for me to keep within the EU.
Are you going to vote to come out of the EU?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And in doing so, as I said right at the beginning, I think that will actually give us greater flexibility to work with
to get stuff from abroad, we have to come out from Europe.
That would give us greatest flexibility. That would give us greatest flexibility, because actually, from my point of view, I mean, that's not what we're going to be able to present to government, because government obviously are negotiating to be able to stay into a reformed Europe. But if we do come out next year...
So we bring our immigration policy back to the member states?
Effectively, yeah, absolutely. And now, you know, you said it right at the beginning.
You know that won't happen because the European dream is to have a federal Europe like the United States.
Which is why we need to leave Europe. In my view, that's why we need to leave Europe. And if we
to be honest.
So it's not about the European member states, it's about Britain. It's about what Britain does with its immigration policy. And if we can come out and determine our own British policy, then we can actually deal as we used to with the Commonwealth countries in particular, where we had a really good relationship, India, Bangladesh, Burma, all these other Australia.
We are going to be okay on our own.
Sorry?
We are going to be okay on our own with leaving Europe.
I feel very comfortable.
Well, this is a different kind of debate, but
yeah,
if it is going to help us, I'm myself, I want to come out from Europe as well because I live in Kent and most people wanted to come out from Europe.
I understand if you live in Kent, why you want to come out of Europe.
Yeah, I want to come out from, you know, most European Kentish people don't want to be in Europe.
You know,
we got lots of problems from Europe.
I first talked, I know we're getting slightly off, but I first talked about this a couple of weeks ago in an immigration debate, and the Evening Standard wrote it up as, me saying that curries would be tastier if we left the EU. Now, I think that was maybe fanciful, but at least they'll be curries, because it's the unintended consequences of a tight immigration policy means that big, important industries like the curry industry do suffer as a result.
So if you're going to come out from Europe, it's going to definitely help.
Pasha was saying the visas or the sector-based visas for work permits that we had issued, the Labour government given. Is this something that you will talk to the government about? Is this something you're going to propose? Yeah,
absolutely. I think what we need to do is we've talked about the fact that the tier 2 visas are set far too high. You know, as you say, £30,000 plus bed and board.
35,000. He's saying it's gone up to 35,000.
Well, exactly. So what we need to, but we need to do this in relation to also a short-term package, because I think if you actually speak to most people, most government ministers, and certainly most voters, they will actually say, well, why aren't we training more people within? And we've talked a little bit about the issues around that, but we do need to have that as a long-term goal. So we can't just keep saying, you know what, we'll let people come in. We only need people from Bangladesh to come in. As important as it is.
We're not saying that we only need people from Bangladesh to come in. But in this industry, I mean, you cannot expect to go to Africa and have a Chinese meal.
Of course.
And if you want a Chinese, you have to go to China. This industry has been developed by the people from Bangladesh, and that's what they know.
Salim Bhai, there is now, if you go for a survey, you will see at least 3,000 to 4,000 Romanian working in this industry. Every restaurant got 3 or 4 Romanian. But what's happening? We never ever can make them comfortable to stay. It's a transit period for them. 3 to 4 months. My brother rang me just now.
I was just going to say, is this a solution? So it's not a solution.
It's not a solution. No. We tried Polish. They're just temporarily gone. Romanian came, 5, 3,
so
7.
Why did they go? Do you not pay them enough?
We paid them enough. We did accommodation. But what happened?
So what's the reason they leave? Do you exit?
The culture is totally different. They don't want to be with the curry. They cannot smell the curries. Sometimes, therefore, first few days they said, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Then they start get fed up. They can't speak Romanian with the people they're living because we provide them accommodation. They haven't got accommodation. This is a totally different world for them. And they don't want to be.
I think as well, some of the Eastern European migration is transitory in its very nature. But they'll come over here, they'll try and make a good amount, because it's obviously a lot more money than they earning over there, otherwise they'd stay there, come over here, make some money, and then go back again. So it's that's sort of not what you're after when you're trying to do a long term.
Can I bring it back to the current work permit of the 29,000 going up to 35,000? You know, the living wage, which is going up to
£9.20 eventually.
£9.20 eventually, and that's going to have a massive effect in the industry, especially in small businesses where they will suffer badly. I've done a calculation in my company, and the effect is about $250,000 of the current wage increases up to next April. How will the small Indian, Bangladeshi, Indian restaurant sector, how would they survive? Have the government not thought of them?
No, they have, because actually one thing that a lot of people haven't talked about during the tax credits debates when we're talking about this is what happens not just for the people right at the bottom that are on minimum wage, but the people just above that when you get the ripple effect. No, actually, because this is actually a big effect on your business, because it's not only just bringing these people up to minimum wage, but the people who are currently on minimum wage will then expect a little bit extra. So there'll be that extra cost to your business as well.
cost extra, but we cannot charge higher prices
No,
to the
I
consumer.
appreciate that.
So you are again with these policies trying to kill the industry off.
Well, I think what you get with this is that at the moment you do get a lot of lower paid employees that are effectively being subsidised by government through tax credits. And I'm not sure it's fair on taxpayers to actually be paying people as a government to work and keeping these people actually beholden to the government to be paying them because other employers
we're
won't
never
pay
going to
fair
go into
wage.
tax credit because we're talking about the skill shortage of the industry. What I'm saying,
There's a major another problem.
The industry is facing massive problem already. Okay, it's not very profitable. We've got online monsters taking a big cut away. Energy bills going up, and at the same time, government by accident or by intentionally putting more cost onto these businesses. Now, you may say these people who they're on tax credit working in these businesses, and you put their wages up and take the tax credit away, so they may not have an effect. But the business has an effect. Where does the business gets that money from to pay those workers extra money?
Well, I think this is the balance that you've got to find. And as someone that's run a small business for 20 years myself before I got elected, it is a really difficult.
So where
balance.
would Pasha find his extra funds?
But what you can't do at the moment is you effectively by paying the wages that you are as an industry, it's the government that picking up the tab for the rest of that to actually to make it into a livable income for those people that are basically being underpaid. It's something that's actually kept wages low across an industry. Now, individual restaurants you can make cases for.
Let's face it, it was a Labour policy. Tory just picked it up to just win the election. It was a popular policy.
Well, no, I'm sure we picked it up. I think actually that's what was hardly popular because we've been trying to get rid of it. But
I'm talking about living wage.
I see. But yeah, but that's also tax credits.
I mean,
because tax credits is something that a few years ago, until we started reforming it, 9 out of 10 families in this country were on tax credits, were eligible for tax credits, including, funnily enough, some MPs. So no one thinks that MPs are low paid. So, but that's how daft the tax credit policy was overall, which is what we got to reform.
I just want to add one thing to Paul, if you can make a note, and I want to tell Salim Bhai as well. That
I don't need to. It's live on television.
Just hold that thought. We have to go for a break. As soon as we come back for a break, we only got another 10-15 minutes. We'll continue the topic. So we'll go for a break now. We'll come back. We'll carry the discussion on, which will be our last segment of this show. So see you in a minute.